rise off a cliff, you just go with it.
Getting real. It's about to happen.
All right, Brent.
What's up?
What's going on? Not the first race of the season, but the first race I've made it to.
Yeah.
And this is IXCR
King of the Mountain. Yeah, it's round 4. I made it to their round 3 Lee Farms in my, I forget where it was, Martinsville, Indiana. Made it to that one. It was pretty nasty weather, kind of wet and muddy. We didn't do so well.
Well, that's your opinion. I think one awesome lap is better than 4 slow laps. That's what I've been telling you. So, you know, it's all relative. But yeah, this is going to be awesome. IXCR is like one of the killer state series. Like this and Niowa, freaking awesome XC stuff. We made it out to the Hoosier a couple weekends ago. Check that out. See the XC1 pros. They were freaking awesome.
Yeah, they got a crazy turnout, and they put on an awesome event. It's well organized. The track's laid out perfect. Yeah, you know, it's just an awesome series.
And there are some super fast dudes out here today, so that's going to be awesome. Yeah. And special guest star. What's going on, Justin?
What's going on? You finally get to meet up with the dirt,
baby.
Yeah, the Dirt Obsession guys. I'm out here. Me and the Viking set this up because we wanted to go. I wanted to go race, and I figured if he can do it, and if Two Gills can do it, I can easily finish. That's my theory.
Shout out to Rick, man.
Rick
Two Gills inspires us all.
Dude, he inspires us all because he's 55. I love him. Rick, you're the man. And I figured we're going to be out here and see what happens. We're in the same class, and should be quite interesting, Chad. You know, hopefully we're both on Black Beauties. Okay, I have a KTM. He has the TRX. But I'm in all white, he's in all black. So, I mean, I don't know what we're doing.
We got a little good versus evil going on.
Good versus evil, you know?
In the shootout. Black Betty looking fresh. Threw some flex bars back on her. But Snow White still getting built.
Still working.
She'll make an appearance eventually.
One of these days we're going to break it out.
Yeah.
What round do you think you're going to get that done?
Maybe 13.
Maybe round 13.
13. We might get it. We might have it done. Maybe.
That's what I feel like on my YMZ. Like I've been waiting on a wiring harness for, I don't know, 2 months.
Yeah.
Still haven't got it.
Could be 2022, but
yeah,
she'll show up one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, like I get a little box, like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys race. Let's go do a little walk around on Justin's KTM because that is an awesome bike.
Check that out. It's awesome.
Yeah, check that. There she is, the KTM.
What a beauty.
Yeah, you know, took me a while to get it all together because, you know, KTM parts are not easy to find. Like OEM stuff like is extremely hard. So like once you get it all together, you know, it came out pretty good, you know.
Looks good. It's very, very comfortable. You let me sit on it earlier. I was really surprised how comfortable, because I have never ridden a KTM. They're getting really, really hard to find. So this is almost a white buffalo. I would call this a white buffalo.
Yeah, you could call it that. Like for some reason, like I sat on a KTM and it's just like, I love it. Like, you know, like I don't know what it is about them. Just they handle pretty good, I think. It's very similar to like a Suzuki, which everybody says is the best handling sport quad out there. But I would say that if these KTMs were mass produced, you would see a lot of guys ride these. Yeah. If they were easier to find.
Yeah, and they were expensive from the factory when they come out, but quite a cool build on it too. You've got the right stuff, baby.
Yeah, well, you know, I go overboard. So like if people see my channel, I kind of am very anal about how I do things. But what I will say is the KTMs were expensive, but back in the day you didn't need to add anything to them.
Right, they were ready to go.
They were ready to go, and like that was something awesome. You know, you could get an XC one or you could get a SX one. This is an XC the first year, and you know, they made some improvements, but like, you know, the frame doesn't need much gutting. I mean, it's like it's pretty nice.
And you've got a great setup on here. There's a lot of Texera Tech front arms that just these look fantastic. And then the axis shocks. What's the rise? That's a Texeratech stem, right?
Yeah, it's a +1. Okay, but then I put ATV high bend because I like the higher bar bend. It just feels more comfortable to kind of have your hands up instead of being down here, hunched over. It doesn't hurt my back as bad.
It's a very, very comfortable machine to sit on, for sure. So, in some clutch.
Chad, the suspension is the real key to get it plush enough that it feels good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm, keep working on.
And you ride a lot of motocross. So
yeah, I ride a lot of motocross. Did you do any adjustment to the suspension to come out here and run XC today? No. What I did is we got the ride height right for we just adjusted the ride height and that was it.
Cool.
Me and Zach adjusted the ride height and that was it. And I'm just gonna ride it like it was. I built this to set it up for an XC setup. So like when I took it to the motocross track, it was kind of like, it was soft a little bit.
Okay.
It wasn't built for that, but.
Well, we'll see how she does today. And this is your first cross-country race.
This is my first cross-country race. Like I said, we're just trying to finish.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go buy my camper 4 times.
If we see Justin 4 times, we're doing good.
We're going good. Now, I can't tell you on the last lap if it looks like you could run faster than I'm going, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Think about it. It's like maybe we all have a midlife crisis. I don't know. But, when you're younger, you have no money. You want to do this cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you're older, you finally have money. And don't let that discourage you from going out there and trying it.
Yep.
Because you might be surprised. Like your competitive juices will get going and you'll want to do every one.
Heck yeah. And you might even braid your beard into a super awesome Viking braid. Check that out. Woo. Nice.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do we have a battle axe? Is that something that
That's the trophy if you win.
Nice.
They're giving.
Is that really the trophy?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's
If
awesome.
you win, you get a battle axe?
Yeah.
All right, so hey, screw finishing. It's all or nothing.
Listen, I will steal it.
Yeah.
I will steal it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll come with me.
You guys created a distraction.
Yeah, like make
We'll
a
let
scene.
Justin grab it
Go
and
over there
run.
and make a scene. I'll grab it.
We're gonna get that trophy one way or the other, boys.
I'm not getting a trophy today. Unless they have like participation trophies or something like that.
All right, we'll see you guys on the starting line. So, are you nervous?
Yeah.
Is it starting to become real? You're on the line now.
Yeah, I know I'm on the line, but like, I mean, I've done racing before, but I like this because there's no gate.
Yeah.
Okay, because like the motocross gate will get you kind of like, you'd be like, oh, I stalled it the first time.
Yeah.
And then this, I'm kind of nervous about just because you, like at the motocross race, you can come out and do a practice lap so you know where you're going. This, you have no idea where I'm going. I just got to follow the leader. So if somebody, this is kind of like if somebody drives off a cliff, you just go with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, ah, okay.
Yeah.
And then both of you are down there like, hey, what happened? We're in the cliff.
Yeah. Probably gonna be dusty out there today.
Yeah, it's gonna be real dusty, and I have a feeling the water pack is gonna help, and really just run your own race. I think that's what the Woods series is about. Is run your own thing.
Yep, pace yourself. You're on the only KTM, so you'll at least bring it home for factory KTM.
Yeah, I'm looking at KTM. If you're out there, I'm looking for a factory ride. Looking for a factory ride, right? Trying to get that factory money.
All right, Justin. Good luck.
All right, good luck, man.
Getting real.
Getting real. It's about to happen.
So I would say your experience now. This is your third race.
Third race.
Still get nervous?
Yeah. Big time.
I get nervous for you,
time nervous.
I get nervous for you.
Yeah. Definitely get the jitters.
It is unbelievable out there.
Oh, it's a crazy turnout.
IXCR is so much bigger than KXCR was. There's
Huge.
so many folks, and they still got to run the pros this afternoon. So just sport quads everywhere. It's super awesome.
There was 4 quads in my class at KXCR, and I'm looking at least 20 now.
There was maybe 30 total.
Yeah, total.
You got every 2 rows. There's 30.
Yeah, there's
quads
20 in this class.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of bottlenecks, I'd say, in the woods.
It's going to be dusty today.
It's going to be dusty because it's dry. We haven't had any rain, which shouldn't be muddy, which would be good. But I have a feeling from what I saw this morning, it's going to be a fast-paced race too.
It looks like from what we've seen, there's definitely some fast sections.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely some fast sections. So that'll be fun.
Yep.
Cool. All right, brother. Good luck, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
10 seconds.
All right, guys, we've got Brent the Viking and Chad here with you in typical DO fashion. We're going to go ahead and voice over this race video so that we can hear it firsthand from Brent the Viking of what the race experience was like. First of all, Brent, it looks like you got off to a great start and there was some strategy in there. So what was going on?
Yeah, first off, the bike started decent off the line. I was kind of looking to let everybody else go ahead in front of me, because I kind of figured there could be a bottleneck or a crash. I wanted to make sure if there was, I could pick a line through the woods and get around it. That actually worked to my advantage, because that's exactly what happened. I was able to pick a line through the woods and get around the bottleneck, and now I'm up in the front of the class.
Definitely looks like that strategy paid off there. Good thinking. Okay, so this was an awesome day. IXCR puts on incredible events, tons of racers out there. And we had a special guest with us, which was Justin Sturgill from Justin Sturgill Trucking that you saw earlier. So pretty cool to have a buddy to go out there and race with. That was kind of a cool experience.
Yeah, nice to have somebody else out there to share the experience with. Justin came the night before and camped out, and we had a good time. I got around him at the first of the race here, and I saw him again one more time towards the end of the race. But yeah, good to have somebody out there with me.
Also, before we really dig in, I want to give a shout out to Spider Graphics in Austin Parks, because he let us use some of those clips that you saw in the intro. Really appreciate that. Check out Spider Graphics at spidergraphics.com. Thanks, brother. All right, Brent, so this race is a lot different than that first one that we did the voiceover for from KXCR, your first XC race. There was about 30 quads total, from Pro Row all the way back to D. And today, you had at least, I believe it was 16 in your class, 131, if I remember correctly, total quads in the amateur morning race. IXCR is the real deal.
Yeah, IXCR always puts on big events. There was about 17 riders in my class, which was class D 22 plus. You know, they always have an awesome turnout. They're great race promoters. They lay out an awesome course, and you know, they know what they're doing.
All right, now let's turn to more of your race and how you're doing. So it looks to me like you got off to the start and you're absolutely flying. You're picking lines. That's something that you have talked to me about before, where when we're riding, you're practicing picking lines and you're practicing going through the woods and finding alternate routes. Has that come into play in this race early on?
Yeah, you know, learning to pick a line and get around people. I kind of tried to pace myself, but it's hard to do when everybody's blasting through the woods. Your adrenaline's pumping. You're just trying to go as hard as you can. Sometimes, you know, you got to tone it back just a little bit and learn your pace, which is something that I'm learning. I'm learning to ease up a little, but picking lines and learning how to get around bottlenecks, slower riders, and to dart through the woods on an alternate path off course is beneficial in certain circumstances. Kind of like these riders here are getting jammed up. If there's a way to get around them, it's always good to practice with that.
So it's easy when you're a trail rider to kind of get lulled into that mentality of follow the leader. Are you trying to break that mentality here and try to go for the throat and try to make passes? Or are you just trying to get experience, learn as much as you can, and just keep getting better every time you race?
For right now, I'm just trying to follow the guys in front of me. If they make a mistake or if they get you know, tied up in a spot, then yeah, I'm always looking for a place to pass. But for the most part, just staying kind of with the pack, you know. And yeah, every time I race, I learn something new.
and get a little bit more experience with it.
So it's probably safe to say, in this point in your career, essentially everybody, he laughs as I say career, essentially everybody has more experience than you, because this is your third race. So you're really just taking it all in, learning from the guys in front of you what to do and what not to do, even though you're an experienced rider, you've been riding since you're 14.
Yeah, and it's good whenever a faster rider passes you. A lot of times, you try to stick with them as long as you can, and you can kind of learn from them and watch their lines and how they're riding. It actually teaches you quite a bit when a faster rider passes you.
So we just saw a whole bunch of people go past you guys, or we're seeing them now, a whole train of folks going past. But sometimes riding nose to tail like that isn't the best idea in the world, and you're gonna see it right here as a whole bunch of folks go rolling past you, and then not a minute down the trail, boom, there you go right around everybody. So not always the best idea to try to just keep butted up to the guy in front of you.
Yeah, they get in those bottlenecks like that, and that's why I say if you kind of lag back a little and watch for those, when they do happen, it's easy to find a spot to get around them.
So really, there's definitely some strategy. You don't need to go as fast as you possibly can every second of the race. You apply some thought into it, and slow is steady, smooth is fast, that kind of thing.
There you go. Slow and steady wins the race.
I think what's important to note for the guys who are interested in doing this is that the pace is not 100% for 2 hours straight at this level. You know what I mean? You can take some breaks. We'll see that later, but it's not like you're going out 110% 100% of the time.
Yeah, at the start, you're kind of, everybody's adrenaline's pumping, everybody's wide open, and, you're going hard and fast.
Okay, Brent, we are coming into the biggest bottleneck I saw you get involved in at this race right now. Tell me what was going on here. You can see it kind of as you crest this hill that there was definitely an obstacle, but there's like 30 or 40 guys getting hung up here, and people are flipping over, and it's all kind of craziness. So tell us a little bit about what was happening with this bottleneck.
Yeah, right now, as I come up on it, it's just craziness. You see quads everywhere like ants in the woods. Didn't really know exactly what was going on. I just knew I was trying to pick an alternate line to get around as many as I could, and it just kept getting worse and worse the closer I got to the actual bottleneck.
So as you come down into this gully here, it looks like there might be a creek bed or something down there, and guys are just having a hard time. If you can kind of catch it on the left-hand side of your screen, there's some wheels up in the air and people are flipping over. But is that what it was? Was it just really hard to pass?
Yeah, it was real tight there. There's a gully at the bottom of this hill, and all the riders were trying to get out of there. A couple riders were struggling. You see this guy here, he took a shortcut. That's very steep coming up out of that gully, and one guy, I don't know if you'll see it here in a minute, he actually flipped completely backwards. But yeah, just kind of a tight spot down in there.
How technical was this track? Did it feel like there was quite a few places where you're like, ooh man, this is going to be tough, or was it for the most part fairly tame?
There was one or two spots that were a little rough. For the most part, pretty tame. Didn't have too much trouble with any of it once, other than the bottlenecks, once everybody got going.
All right, so you finally get around the traffic and you're good to go. You're picking the pace back up, and then
yeah, the guy in front of me, he ate dirt there, so we had to scoot around him best we could. I couldn't make that turn, so I had to jump off really quick, trying to be as quick as I can, because I had several other riders jammed up behind me, so I'm trying to get out of their way as well.
And that poor unfortunate soul is the same one who did it on that first turn that held everybody up and let you get around. But we did talk to him after the race. He's good to go. Hopefully he's checking this video out. Appreciate you, bud. Hope you're feeling okay. So the track was pretty hilly. We're going to see you going up one now. This isn't what they called the pro hill, but on camera it looks steep, and I know that if it looks steep on camera, it's pretty steep in person. How were the hills? Is there any part that you were just like, oh wow, that was kind of rough, even after the fact?
They weren't terrible. The biggest thing was, as the race went on, I kind of got a little hand fatigue and arm pump. and then trying to hang on to the four-wheeler while you're going up the hills, you know, presents another challenge in itself. So just trying to battle through the fatigue and get up the hills all at the same time.
And I think this was the pro hill here. You took the easier line, as is always the good strategy the first time around. But this thing, I mean, you go around some twists and turns and it just keeps going on. But it feels like it goes on forever. And by the time you got to the top of this thing, you can tell you're putting some effort in and you need a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I did take the bypass because I didn't know what to expect. So I kind of took what seemed to be the easier route, which was a little easier, but it's still very rough. A lot of roots and a lot of rocks in it.
Let's listen to these grunts. Okay, and I like to leave this kind of stuff in the video because it really gives you that raw, like, you're in pain, right? You know, you're hurt, and I like to leave that in because look, this racing isn't easy, and for the guys who are like, yeah, I think I want to try this, we just want them to know that this kind of racing isn't easy. Super fun. You make it look like a blast, but it's not simple.
Yeah, it is a blast, but it's also a little bit of pain involved with it. You know, you get arm pump really bad. You know, I got kind of sore hands, and, you know, I'm on stock suspension, so it'll beat you up quite a bit.
Okay, in this spot, I just wanted to leave a little cameo in for myself because let's take some time to credit the videographer in this video, right? Okay, so almost done with lap 1 here. Not quite all the way done with lap 1. You've had to take a few breaks already.
Yeah, I get a little arm pump. My hands get fatigued. Every now and then I got to kind of pull over and let the blood flow back to my hands and take a little rest.
But again, we want to point out that finishing the race is the goal here, and whatever means it takes to get to the finish line. That's what's important because it's about building on previous experience, building your endurance, and getting better every time.
Yeah, by the end of lap 1, I was so wore out, I thought, well, I don't know if I want to make a second round, but I just kept pushing through it. And at the end of the second round, I didn't know if I was going to make a third lap, and kept pushing through and finally got to the checkered flag on the third lap.
It's got to be satisfying to see that checkered flag when that's the goal you set out to accomplish, you want to finish. To be able to see it, that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it gives you a sense of accomplishment to know that you went out and run 3 laps and kind of pushed through the pain and the arm pump and, you know, all the obstacles and made it to the end safely.
All right, Brent, so you accomplished your goal that you set out once again to finish. That's where your headspace is going in, and you accomplished it. So I know you had to feel good about that.
Yeah, it felt good, you know, running 3 laps. I feel like I did pretty well. No crashes. I passed a few guys. They passed me. At the end of the day, I saw the checkered flag, went 3 laps, had a great time. It was an awesome race.
That is what it is all about. But now I want to talk about the experience from the spectator side. IXCR, you know, we went to the Hoosier a couple weekends before this. IXCR is almost on par with that national level series event as far as the event that they put on. There's vendors, there's food trucks, but it was an absolutely awesome experience from a spectator perspective to be out there because there's XC1 pros. You know, I got a good look at Bryson Neal, Austin Abney. You know, they're flying through. You get to see these elite racers, and when I say elite racer, Bryson Neal is probably the fastest man on a four-wheeler right now. You know, he is absolutely one of the fastest guys that you will ever see in person. And to be out there and get to see him up close and personal in kind of a less restrictive setting than GNCC, it's really, really cool. So if you ever get the opportunity, check out an IXCR race as a spectator. You will not be disappointed. Okay, Brent, thank you once again for sharing your experience with us. I know there's a lot of folks out there that like to see this new racing experience, you know, from your perspective and kind of getting the the grunt level, ground level feeling of what it's like to go from having never raced to racing for your first time, what the experience feels like and everything. I know there's a lot of folks out there that appreciate it. And if you have questions for the Viking, go ahead and hit us up in the comments section. Anything that I missed or anything that you're curious about, hit us up in the comments. He's going to be checking back off, and he'll go direct with you to let you know anything that you want to know about racing. But I think it's fair to say, if you want to try it, get out and try it, because the worst thing that happens is you don't finish. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I mean, and even if you don't, at least getting out there and trying it's something. And you know, the more you do it, the more you learn, the better you get. And once you do it once or twice, you're going to get hooked, and you'll be at every race after that.
We've got respect for everybody who's not afraid to do it. We'll see you guys next time.
Phew, my thumb's giving out. I can't even push the throttle. Whew. My forearms are swelled up with blood so much. Whew, they're hard as a rock. Damn, I'm fat and out of shape.